Hello students, welcome to Drishti IAS. My name is Saloni Nandkyoliar and in this session we are going to talk about the Commonwealth Games of 2030 because India has secured the hosting rights for the edition of 2030. So we will see which our host country is going to be, what can be expected out of these games and overall what has been the history of Commonwealth Games. So let's get started. The 2030 edition is going to happen in India. And this was confirmed at the Commonwealth General Assembly in Glasgow just yesterday. And the host city here is going to be Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is going to be hosting the 2030 edition of our Commonwealth Games. Now, do you recall when was the last time that India hosted Commonwealth Games? It was 2010. Which city? New Delhi. So after 20 years, India is going to be hosting the Commonwealth Games and this edition will be 2030. Now the 2030 edition in itself is going to be historic because this year is going to mark the centenary celebrations of the Commonwealth Games. Commonwealth Games will be completing 100 years in 2030. The first edition happened in 1930. We will see where this happened when we talk about the history of Commonwealth Games, but the first happened in 1930 and 2030 is going to be historic in itself because that is going to mark what? The centenary celebrations. And that's why it's a big win for India. And at the same time, it is also a very big responsibility. We will have to showcase immaculate sportsmanship, infrastructure and everything else to make these games a success. And in that direction itself, India is working at the moment because not just this, but India also has a goal of hosting the 2036 Olympics. So do you see what we are trying to do here? India is wanting to showcase itself as a global sports leader also, that we have the capacity to hold such big events, such major events. And in this direction only, securing the hosting rights for the 2030 Commonwealth Games is also a very big achievement over here. And if I talk about the competitor, we had a competitor in this bid and that was Nigeria. So Nigeria had also placed a bid for hosting the 2030 edition of Commonwealth Games, but India won and Nigeria might host the 2034 edition. This also will be confirmed over a period of time. Nigeria might host 2034, but India is going to host 2030 and the host city is going to be Ahmedabad. Now let's discuss the 2030 edition in detail. I already told you this will be the 100-year celebration, 100-year celebration of the Commonwealth Games. Then some 15 to 17 sports are expected to be included in these games. There are some sports under consideration like we have badminton, volleyball, T20 cricket and there are more. But over a period of time, we'll get to know which sports are confirmed, but some 15 to 17 sports are going to be added. Then there's another interesting thing that can happen over here, which is at the discretion of the host country. So the host country in the Commonwealth Games has the discretion of adding up to 2 new or traditional sports. So India will have the discretion to add up to 2 new or traditional sports. So let's see if India adds anything. We'll follow that also. But India at the moment has this discretion. It can add up to 2 new or traditional sports. And overall, there are some 15 to 17 sports that are expected to be included in the 2030 edition. Now let's talk about the history of Commonwealth Games. History of these Commonwealth Games. Commonwealth Games are also known as friendly games. They're termed as friendly games. And the first edition I told you took place in 1930. Where? In Hamilton, Canada. And please note that at that time in 1930, this was not called Commonwealth Games, because by that time we did not have the Commonwealth of Nations. So it was not called Commonwealth Games. It was called the British Empire Games. So naturally the participation was also narrower. But in 1930, the edition that was held in Hamilton, Canada, it was not called the Commonwealth Games, it was called the British Empire Games. And over a period of time, like in 1978, from 1978, we have started calling it what? The Commonwealth Games. Okay? And now we have the 2030 edition, which is going to be happening in India. 2010 also happened in India. The last one, 2022, this happened in Birmingham, UK. And the 2026 edition, because this happens every 4 years. Since 1930, we are having this every 4 years. There have been some exceptions in cases of some major wars. This did not happen, but generally this happens every 4 years. So 2022 happened in Birmingham. 2026 is going to happen in Glasgow. And then 2030 will happen in India. 34 might happen in Nigeria. So every 4 years we have these events. Now this consists of our regular sports as well as para sport events also. Regular sports plus para sports are included in the Commonwealth Games. They have been integrated, fully integrated into the Commonwealth Games, and we have these every 4 years with some exceptions. It was not called the Commonwealth Games when it began. It was called the British Empire Games, and over a period of time, since 1978, we have started calling it the Commonwealth Games, because the Commonwealth of Nations was created in 1949. Commonwealth of Nations was created in 1949, and these Commonwealth of Nations is a group of countries who have largely or majorly those countries who have been former British colonies. It's a group of those countries, but not necessarily only former British colonies. We also have some exceptions, like we have Mozambique, we have Rwanda. They have not been British colonies, so they are not been traditionally British colonies. They were Portuguese colonies or Belgian colonies. So there are some exceptions, but largely Commonwealth of Nations is a group of nations who have mostly been British colonies. So this Commonwealth of Nations was formed in 1949, and then from 1978 we started calling the traditional British Empire Games as the Commonwealth Games. So this is about the history of Commonwealth Games. We saw when was the Commonwealth Games held in India in 2010. When again is it going to happen? In 2030, and initially it was not called the Commonwealth Games. So that was all for this video. Let's see if there are any new sports or any traditional sports that India adds to the list as per its discretion. We will follow that. But for now, let us practice a question for prelims. Consider the following statements about the Commonwealth Games. First, the first edition of the Games held in 1930 was known as the British Empire Games. 2. Para sports events are fully integrated into the Commonwealth Games with medals counted in the overall medal tally. 3. The Commonwealth Games are held every 4 years except during major world wars. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. All 3, or D. None. Please attempt this question and provide your answers in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.